Hello, good morning, happy Wednesday. Hope you all are doing great today. I've got a Zilby hanging out with us down here a little bit this morning, although a lot of times he heads up back upstairs. So we'll see how long he hangs out. So last night I was going through and I was looking at the issues that I had created. A lot of them were for like maybe later on in the process, not necessarily the best for um basically like an MVP or testing like the main game loop, uh which is like finding out is there fun in this. So I went ahead and created a few more tickets for that. So if we take a look at them, we basically have, I want to play a level. So that is going to the select level screen, choosing the level to play. Then once you're playing a level, I want to start editing that level. And then when you're editing the level, go back to playing that level. We mostly have some of these done, but not all of them. So I did do a little bit of coding last night, and sort of like set back up the choose level screen. So if I go back here and we do cargo run. Oh, are you done? So if I now hit play, maybe nothing's happening. Is my controller not plugged in? This was working last night. Try unplugging and replugging in the controller. There we go. We can get select level. I've got a little bit of styling problems here, but I'm not going to be too worried about this. I can now select the levels that I have here. Now, if I hit start or A, nothing happens at this point. So this is like the next part. Is I want to be able to select one of these levels and be taken to it. So in the level manager, I updated that to hold a vector of levels because I realized that I need to do that in order to make sure that we can handle multiple levels. Because if I was programming for like a single level and part of this like game loop is that we can do multiple levels, then I could potentially run myself into trouble, just like assuming that this is how it's gonna be. So I want to get levels. Now get level is just giving me the first level. That's the fine. So what I want to do is I want to figure out some way to get the current level. So to know what the current level is. Right now in I believe we have it sort of like in a navigate to, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to figure out what exactly that like the number is. So like I've been sort of updating levels a little bit. So we can see I added in a name being passed in here. We might also want to like add in an ID for this. Or maybe have it auto-generate an ID. That might be good too. Just to like sort of be able to pass that ID around. We could potentially have the name be unique. In which case maybe I should use a hash map to store these levels instead of an array or a vector. That might be good. But let's say I use this name. Then I want to come to loaders, the select level loader. I would somehow need to like have a navigate to. So there is the navigation. So we have play, but we don't have the ability to store in what that is. Hey, Utsby, good morning. And so that's what I want to try to figure out this morning is how do I know what level I'm clicking on in order to play, or I guess selecting. We have those 2 levels selected. How do I know which one to go to? You heard there are stories. You like stories. Is there a princess? Yes, but the princess is always in another repo. I think that's how the original game went. It was the princess is always in another repository. And as soon as you're done with this project, I'm sure the next one is going to be the one that has the princess at the end. Now going to navigation screens here. We could, okay, so in select level loader, one of the things we can do is store and navigate to, or store some kind of other information. Or every time we, because every time we select up and down, where is that? Where do I actually have that happening? It's like level select. No, I don't think it's on level select because this is just doing a command select up and down. Because I'm going to want start to do its thing. Very similar to what we have for start. Doing this. Okay, so handle select, world, and the navigation. Oh, okay, so it queries for the components, and then it figures out where it's going to be navigating to. Okay, so if I figure out a navigation with the name inside of it, so navigation play could be a tuple that has a string inside, or yeah, let's just have a string. I think that'll be easier because if I have like stir, I think that's gonna get lifetime issues. Yeah. String. Oh, navigation screens can't do copy if I have a string. Oh, that's too bad. I guess if I did like an ID and it was a number, that would work too. All right, that causes all sorts of problems. Saying you can't be copy. Now when we go to play from where are we? This is this should be not play. This should be going to level select. Where is this? This is like this the main. Oh, this is the main mod. Okay, so if we're going to play, then We don't have one. Yeah, this is the input handler. And I guess this is the current screen that we're on. Play. Right, we don't care what level we're on. We're just gonna start moving left or right with these. And then we'll probably use like D-pad A for jump or something like that. This is handle stop controller input. Okay, so play, this is the same thing. Keyboard input control. So, right, we have like P to go to edit level. So navigating to edit level, we probably are going to want to take in like the level, the level name. Because we're probably going to want edit level to also do the same thing. So I'm just going to leave this in here, which gives us a warning, and that should be fine. Or I guess you don't give us that, so fine. I'm surprised that doesn't give me a warning due to not being used. Maybe it's because we have other errors. Okay, so play. Okay, so this is in the loaders for like loading up, and then we have to tell them what the name of this is. Okay, so this is gonna be fine. This is gonna be fine. So I guess if we trace this, we press. We're gonna start with the loader for. It's gonna have to be select level. So select level loader. Here's the list of levels for this, and we're gonna have to also have the let level name equals level dot name, and we'll clone you. So that way, Lord Mist, hello. Actually, we don't need to clone you here. I can just take a reference to you, and then we can clone you here. So we don't have to do that once, instead of multiple times. So then, do I have anything that takes in a string? I know it can do it as like a marker. Set name. Set ID. I don't think I do. All right, let's create one. So this is gonna be like the level name, but I'm just gonna call it name so it can be just a generic used for whatever we want. kind of need to take in the name if I'm doing this. So you can be a reference, and we'll clone it in here. Then once we have that, if it exists down here when we build, oh, we need the component name. So component names. So let's just do name. Which means we also need to go into the main library and register that. And then this is going to be the name. Send in here, we can now insert this in. So we're going to set name, pass it in the level name. That should be fine. And then that will sort of build in there. Okay, yeah, a whole bunch of other problems, but okay, so passing through, when we're loading the level up, we add the name of the level. And this is the select level loader. So now when we're on the select level loader and we handle input, specifically for see when we're on the current, okay, so when we're on the level select, handle controller input with navigation. This is a title screen. Wait a second, I want to go to title screen. That's okay. Self the title screen. When we're on level select, we want to go to level select, handle controller input. Okay, so here, wait, this is for, wait, we're just in mod again. Oh, that takes me to the trait. That's the problem. I was wondering what was going on there. Okay, so we're going to go into the level select, handle controller input. So here that comes down to here. When we click start, nothing happens. And when we click south, nothing happens. But this is where we're going to want to have it like actually start the game. So like choose the level. And that will be a navigate too. So we'll want a function, it's like select level. navigate to selected level. I think I need mutable access to send on the event. And then in this case, I just need the world, I think. And I don't think I need anything else necessarily, because we're going to send a navigating to event or command. Okay, so what's the first thing that we're going to do here? We are going to, we have to query for what is currently selected of the level options. So we have to query for that. I guess but I could do another function here to actually like do that. So query for selected level name. And this is going to return a string. All right, so what are we querying for? We know we need the name. So this is going to be component names, name. Now there's only one thing that sort of has that, but you also need to know that it's selected. So we need to know its selection status too. So selected as ref, and I think that's all we care about at this point. So if we do this, we're gonna have the names and the is selected or selected components. Once we have those two, we can loop through these. So in this case, we probably care about the selected components. So selected component. Guess you're going to be a wrapped selected. You're our data wrapper with a Boolean. Okay, so only if selected component, so a dereferenced selected component, wrap selected. So if you're true, then we want to get the wrapped name. pass that. And then once we have that, we can now just do an early return with this wrapped name. So that's going to be a dereferenced. Actually, we probably want to just clone it because we don't want to actually take ownership of it. So give me a wrapped name. Borrow.clone. Now, if we reach the end of this loop and we haven't found it, we are good. Oh, and this is gonna have to be an okay. There always should be one. Like we're guaranteed to have one. So we should fail. Could not find a level to navigate, or could not find a level. Could not find a selected level. Oh, not method of trade. Okay, fine. I'm gonna move you into up here. All right, so we call this, and now from here we can call that other one. So our level name is going to be equal to self dot. Wait for that. Pass in the world, and now we have the level name. So once we have this, time for us to now send that with the command. So we're gonna create our command. This is gonna be a it's not a command. It's a event. Event equals event navigating to, and this is going to be a navigation play, a navigation screen, I believe. Play, and then we're going to give it this level name. And then we can do self dot event sender, send the event, and we're good to go. How did I change that? How did I change all those things? Those are fine. Okay, so then what we want to do here is in south, we're going to do a self dot navigate to selected level, pass it in the world. We're also going to do the same thing with start. All right, so this sends the event, and then I believe we are looking for the navigating to event from the level manager. No, not level manager. The loaders. So we're grabbing the event. Yeah, so if let event navigating to, and it's a navigation screen, then we're going to clear the world. And so if the world is play, we're now going to take in the level name, and we have to pass that in here. So in play load, we're going to take in level name. Yeah, so this is making less sense for having like a trait for this. So I'm thinking I'm gonna get rid of this trait because each one is gonna be different. That's gonna be fun. So this is gonna be in the play loaders. We're just gonna have to have this load up here as part of you. So that way we can then not pass in things it doesn't need, like the context. So we're gonna get the level manager, and we're also gonna get the level name, which is this string. So then level, so we're gonna have to get level by passing in the level name. We can pass in a reference to the level name. So we can get level. We'll take in the name of the level. It is going to be a stir. And then once we have that, this is where potentially storing these as a hash map might make a lot of sense. Let's actually do these. Let's store these as a hash map, because I can just get it out really, really easily. Otherwise, I have to loop through them to find them that way, which also isn't necessarily a problem. It's sort of like one of the, well, and if we can't find the name, what should we do? Should probably return an option. All right, so let's make you a hash map. So levels is now going to be a hash map of the key is going to be a string for the name, and then we're going to have a level for the value. So here we're going to create a level. So we add the floor to the level. So we do the same thing. Levels is going to be a hash map new. Make you mutable. Then we're going to do levels insert. All right, so this is going to be level.name. I guess we'll just clone you. And then the value is going to be level. Levels.insert. It's going to be level 2. Name. Clone. Level 2. So those are in. Get level. We're going to return an option with a reference to a level inside. So now it's going to be self.levels.get by the name, which is a string slice, which gives us an option for the level. So still a one-liner down here. So back to play, we get the level, which gives us an option. So if we can't find this level, we should panic. We could unwrap. We could expect also. Maybe that would work. Expect, and then our message is going to be could not find level with the name. Can I actually do? Oh, I don't think I can do like a custom name with this, can I? I think I can with Bale. Because I don't think I can do this, right? Yeah, expected one argument, found two. We could... Can I create a format in here? So in this case, could not find level with name. That works. I can give it a string or a string slice. That's nice. Okay, so then we get our level. Then we load the entities handing at the level. So everything else should work just fine. Now, let's figure out all these errors. There's no loader here. So you need an impl. Actually, I think I can just convert this. So just impl edit scene. You're fine. Oh, and make you public. Oh, the other one needs to be public too, doesn't it? For you, yeah, same thing. You move up here and become public. You go away. Only 3 left. See, title screen loader. Okay, so get all levels. Obviously we can't just pass these. We want to we should probably return. It would be amazing to return like an iterator of these. That would be pretty cool, but maybe we should turn a vec of level because we don't know how many there are. So we can turn a vec with reference to level inside. So in this case, really it's just self. Oh no, it's level. This is the level manager. Level. So then what we're gonna do is I wonder if I can collect this. So like collect, can I return self dot levels iter collect? Chantilly, hello. Oh, because it wants the value. Okay. Is there iter for the values? I think there's like, yeah, values. What does this return? Does this return an iterator? It does. Okay. That works. Where is this error? Wolfie Dev, hello. As someone who has never used Rust, it looks like black magic. I've been meaning to get your hands dirty with it though. I tend to agree. It can look a lot like black magic. Even after programming it for a little while, there's all sorts of like little black magic-y things in it. Especially if you're not used to this type of programming language. Like I suppose somebody with more C++ experience might see through it more. Yeah, so you have C++. I'm guessing that there's going to be some things you're going to recognize, and it's just going to be the syntax is weird. For me, I haven't really programmed C++ ever. Like I had a tiny bit of C, but not enough to really help in this way. Because there's a lot of system stuff in here. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so play.load takes, okay, so in play, we have to give it the level name. Oh, because we don't give it the context anymore, which makes sense. Okay. So in play, expected a stir. Can I just give you a stir? I can totally do that. Yeah, I believe so. Now, not knowing C++, I can't really speak for it, but my guess is it Rust will force you to develop in a way that you're like, no, I know this is safe. I've done it a million times. It'll be fine. And Rust is like, no, it's not what I say is safe. And we are very opinionated, and so you will do it the way I want to do it. And after you beat your head over, you know, with the borrow checker for a long time, then it's like, okay, fine, I'll drink the Kool-Aid, or you'll just give up and rage and hate Rust forever. Yeah, it sort of seems to be that way. It takes one argument. Okay, so, oh, get level, and we have to have the level name. So what is this? Oh, this isn't draw. Where specifically are we? We're in the main library. So system manager. We should probably just pass in the level manager and have the draw system do the query to find out what level we're drawing. Every time you chat, does it? Oh, no. Okay, so what's above me is actually this. So previously we created a flocking simulation. This is in Rust and GGEZ. And these are, it's also using a custom ECS library that we built. So this is static. It's just moving around and doing this little thing. It has nothing to do with what's going on in chat. That would be pretty cool though, to like have it spawn another entity that like lasts for a certain amount of time. So that way, as people chat, it like shows how much chat is happening. That could be fun. Oh, for every character you type? Oh. Yeah, that could be interesting as also. Yeah, that could be fun. So we do have all sorts of colors. Yeah, let's throw, let's see, where do I want to put that? Where do I want to store that? That'd probably be like a new project. Or we can just update it. So where's my, well, it's been long enough that it's not even in here anymore. Okay, so this is what is this? This is the flocking simulator. So flocking, I think. Yeah, okay, so it's using all this stuff. Oh man, I have all these issues that I forgot about. Let's create a new issue for this. This is gonna be each, let's see, integrate Twitch chat, each. And create. You love Git Kraken? It's like, I think you're the first person that says that they love it too. Most people are like, why aren't you using the terminal? Which, like, I use the terminal a lot elsewhere, but like I like the issues integration, and also I like to get used to it because the team that I have at work is using it, and so I want to just like keep up on top of like all the little weird things that it does, so that way I can help them out if they run into trouble. Yeah, did you at uni last? Oh, that they are fun. Like those flocking algorithms, especially watching them, it can be quite like soothing to sort of like look at. All right, so in this draw here, I want to refactor this so that way we're not taking this. I guess it's not a refactor, it's gonna be a rewrite in here. So we're gonna have a system manager display, and we're just gonna pass in the level manager, which means we need to head into system manager display. And we're not taking in a level anymore. We're taking a level manager, which is a reference to a level manager. Now this draw, the draw editing level, draw entities. This here, we're gonna have to, let's create a function here to get the current level. Which means we need to get the current level name and then query for the level. Let's see. Oh, work. Do you mind if I ask what kind of stuff I work on for a living? Yeah, I'm a, or no? Yeah, no, I don't mind. I am a professional software developer. I do, let's see. I am a technical team lead also, so I'm also a manager. I do delve into programming a lot because my team is very small. And I work at a company called Health Scholars. We're building, so I do the web dev type stuff, which I have to qualify because the rest of what my company does is super interesting and exciting, and lots of people think that I work over there, which is we make VR simulations for training health practitioners in various like scenarios to like help out. So for example, heart attacks, or our flagship product for the longest time until it was taken over by like the ACLS stuff, it was fire in the OR. What happens when your patient spontaneously bursts into flame? Which is a non-zero chance, by the way. And our company is trying to help making sure that when it does happen, it doesn't kill the patient. Yeah, it's super an awesome team, and I've been working really hard as like both being a manager and a programmer to build like a high performance team to like build like, you know, do all the things. So I have a lot of opinions on management too. You're a junior network programmer. Oh, awesome. Network programmer is interesting too. I don't really know very much about networking side of things. I want to learn it for, like, I'm doing game dev type stuff, and eventually I'm going to learn networking, and that's going to be interesting. Okay, so if I want to get the current level, we're going to take in this level manager. And we're also going to take in this world. And we're going to return, I suppose we can return an option with a reference to a level inside. And then that way we can pass in this option here, and then in the run for these, actually, looking at this, the only thing that we're caring about here for the level manager is this draw editing level. So hold on. Let's actually just pass in the level manager here. And then draw editing level, you're going to be in charge. You're going to be the level manager. So a reference to the level manager. So we need to get the level here before this happens. So we're going to query the function, query for, I guess it would be get current level. And then before that, we're going to have to get current level name. Self, the world, just a world. And we don't even need the level manager at this point. So we're going to return a, this should return a string. Although I suppose it could return none because nothing, okay, so an option with a string inside. Okay, so if we somehow get to the bottom, we're going to return a none. You're much more of a low-level engine programmer than a gameplay programmer, so you're terribly bad at committing to making a game. Well, what I did was I started super small and basic, and that like helped out. So I'm talking about things like Pong and Breakout, like the arcade classics. Those are like simple enough that they're fun enough to sort of like see as they go through. And then flocking simulations is like still a lot of game dev stuff goes into it, like motion. All those are good. Rust kind of reminds you of Golang. I have not programmed in Golang. I know some people that do, and they were telling me that there were some similarities there too, but I've never programmed, so I can't speak to it too much. All right, so I want to get the selected name, which means we're gonna get the query. Select query. Okay, so we need the names. So name, components. We also gonna need the selected components. Equals, okay, so our query. So pass in the world, pass in this query, query. Then component names, name as ref, component names. This is gonna be selected as ref. All right, so this part of it here might look really black magic-y, and that's because it is. I wrote a macro for this, so it's basically like created this code at compile time for me to call. And it's returning a tuple from this. I know it's gonna look a little bit crazy, Um, and that's because I created well, it's also because I have my custom ECS, which is not the best interface. At least compared to like a professional ECS that I could use. But okay, so I have, and I'm destructuring. So in Rust, you can destructure tuples. So this query returns a tuple, and I'm destructuring them out into their, well, individual variables that I want here. So now I have these two components. Now I need to do a for loop through them. So for, we have the index, and let's do the selected components. This is gonna be selected component in selected components. Get an iterator for that, and then enumerate to get the index. Then I need to convert. So this is a enum, which is this component data. So I need to convert it into its like appropriate type. So a little bit more craziness here. So we're gonna do a wrapped selected component, which is a type of a reference to a data wrapper. Custom type that I wrote, which is really just something called an RC ref cell that gives me interior mutability. So they're just smart pointers. And this is a Boolean inside of it. So this is gonna be the selected component, and we're gonna cast it. And this handles the error. So basically just, if there is an error, it takes it and rethrows it up is like the equivalent. Oh, except I can't do that because this is an option string. So I need to return a result. And the success for a result will be an option string. Okay. So there's that. So then this is going to be, if we reach the end, we're going to return an okay with a none. All right, so if we get to this, we unwrap it. Now we want to check to see. Okay, so if I want to take our rep selected component, we're going to borrow it, but then it's a reference. So I need to dereference it to get the actual value in memory. And so, okay, if this component is selected, then I want to return the name. So then we're going to get the wrapped name. It's going to be this data wrapper with a string inside equals the name components, index, cast u, and then we're going to do a return of okay, wrapped name, borrowed, and clone. Oh, and not just that, but a sum. So that gives me this option here. So get current level name. I can now come up here to run. So, okay, if we're not, so I figure out if we're updating, if we're not updating, return okay. So that's we have our guards at the top. So then we're gonna have a let, let's see. This is gonna be the name. So level name equals if let sum name. Don't hit like page up and page down. That's not helpful. Equals self dot get current level. Pass it in the world. We don't even have the world in here. We need the world. No wonder. No wonder. Okay. So pass it in the world. Then what are we doing? Right. So forget that. We're gonna return the name here. So I'm just gonna take the name. Oh, you can't figure this out. Oh, wait, question mark U. There we go. So question mark this to get the result. That gives us an option. We then get into the option with this if sum, get the name. We just return this name. If there is no sum, so it's a none, for example, we want to return okay because there is no selected level. And this is using an if as an actual expression, which is kind of fun and interesting. So now at this point in time, I don't have to be like inside of this block here to do everything else. I now have level name at this like sort of root level, which means I can now take the level name and use that to get a level. So function get level. Well, actually, we already have that, don't we? We already have that as part of the level manager. So I think this also returns an if let block. So let's do let level equals level manager, get level, pass it a reference to the level name. This returns an option. Now, if we know this, like, I kind of am okay with like just doing an unwrap. Like we shouldn't, so this is gonna crash. It's gonna crash if there is no level. But if there is, we'll be fine. Okay, so update is editing. Now, if we're gonna head back to play, we want to go back to the level name. We can just do level.name. What's going on here? What? Oh, that's like capital. Level.name. Oh, it's a different function. That's why I don't have access to the same level. Update is editing. Where is this called from? This is called from update here. Okay, so we need the level name first. So you need to come up here so we can have you. So update is editing. So this can be, so we need the level name, which is a stir. And we can just pass you a level name. We can clone you. Or to owned. I want you to let me do that. Oh, wait, this is coming in. This is matching on the event. Wait a second. What am I doing? Togglebit, rating with a party of 90. Welcome, 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 Togglebit. Oh, Togglebit says hi. I'm guessing Togglebit had a run right after his stream. Well, I guess I'll say hi back. Epic Blarg, hello, Ash. Ash Riddell, Toggle Raid indeed. He says, hi, bye, gotta eat. I think that's the gist of it. That happens a lot with Togglebit, but he streams a lot too, like a lot longer than I do. So totally understandable. Hello, Tiny Goliath, Karuxer, and then Bear, hello, and Frostry. Let's go ahead and set up our, let's see. Oh, I don't have the terminal open. Let's open up the terminal. Let's go set up, let's do asteroids. Asteroids is is our current stream raid game that we're doing. Document, code, builds, workspace, asteroids. So What was ToggleBit working on? I know he's not here to say, but you can all answer. With this game, I can play as my little ship, but you can all help out by just chatting.
Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived.
Oh, including Petzl Rocks, which is nice. It's nice of it to help me out.
Reinforcements have arrived.
A modal pixel editor. Oh, nice.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Hello, Peyton Rules. Peyton, you were streaming earlier today too. How was your stream? Because you were working on the game in your Rust-based game in WASM, right?
Target the nearest asteroid. What could go wrong? Reinforcements have arrived.
Oh no! Okay, one life down. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Reinforcements have arrived. Target the nearest asteroid. Shoot the UFOs.
The highest we've gotten to is level 11.
Reinforcements have arrived.
And then we just died immediately afterwards. Usually we die by 10.
Shoot the UFOs.
Especially if I'm not fully paying attention. Why is your UFO? Okay, so when you're in UFO mode, you're only going to shoot at the UFO. And the UFO spawns at the beginning of each level. So you're going to spend most of your time not shooting.
Target the nearest asteroid. Reinforcements have arrived.
There's the UFO on the left. And it's gone.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Okay.
Firing randomly. What could go wrong? Firing randomly. What could go wrong?
I've only got one life left.
Firing randomly. What could go wrong? Reinforcements.
Do you like the sound effects? Thank you.
Target the nearest asteroid.
These are like one of the first games that I've actually done actual sound effects, like real sound effects for.
Target the nearest
Still
asteroid.
a lot to learn from it. Okay, so level 7. And that was it.
Firing randomly.
Thank you everybody for helping me out here. Unfortunately, I feel I was the weakest link on this one.
Target the nearest asteroid.
We didn't I feel with this many people we should have gotten up to 11, but we didn't. All right, what we are doing is I am building a you have no idea what was going on, but it was a lot of fun. Well, thank you. It's basically, so what I do on the stream is I build a lot of interactive things, usually in Rust, a lot of game dev type stuff, sometimes simulations. We've also been experimenting with I want to show off and model learning as a software developer. And so this is, a language that I'm relatively new with, only a couple of years just doing this. And does Real Sound wrote a mixer? No, I did not write a mixer. But I chose sound and had to edit a few sounds with Audacity. So that's what I mean. So for example, we are I built my own ECS library for these games. And the first thing of that was what you see right above me, which is this flocking simulator. So that's that's running through an ECS library. And then we've also, let's see, we built that, and then our current project is a platform game with a built-in level editor. And so I'm trying to figure out a way, I'm trying to rewrite, do a little bit of rewrite so I can handle multiple levels and then navigate into there. The fish thing, yes, it's either fish or birds. I think they both actually follow the same rules, which is why I think they call them boids, because bird, fish. Let's see. Okay, so update is edited. Oh, okay. So update is editing. We don't really care. If we're just going to play, then we're setting to this. Okay, so then did I screw this up? I didn't think I did, because we have this closed. that needs to be here. And then you. Okay, so update is editing. I don't actually need any of this stuff. This is fine. And you can go back up top. This level is fine. Okay, so then here, found 3 arguments. We need the world. We have access to the world. Yeah, I agree. It is pretty cool. Okay, and then we don't need you. All right, one error left. Okay, so this is in navigation. Create the navigation string. Create navigation screen from string. So, this is match navigation stir play. Is this play? But then, do we know where we're going? We need like the level name, don't we? Where are you called from? Oh, interesting. I don't see. Okay. Oh, you can't tell me. No implementation found for it. Well, you know what I can do? Just turn you off and see what errors. Okay, here's where it's being called from. So in title screen, for the title input screen handler, navigate to. Okay, this is in the title screen. Navigate to create navigation screen from string. Oh, I don't think we need to do this anymore. Maybe navigate to. Okay, so this is basically. So we're handling select. Okay, 4, we figure out what's selected. Now we're in the title screen, so it literally doesn't matter because we're never going to be able to get to one of those other ones. But I suppose. Oh, you know what I can do? I could remove play from this option. And then it'll be this unknown. We can't get to play from the title screen. I think that'll work. What are you upset about? Event. Okay, so cannot move out of events. This is in our event manager. So we want to send this event. Oh, because it was doing clone and copy. So we have to clone now. Okay, get current screen. So we no longer implement clone for some of those. There's no error. So let's run this and see if it works. All right, so we're in the title screen. I can hit play. That takes us to level select. I can select a level, and then from here I can hit start, and we go into the level. Nice. Okay. Now to make sure that I'm going in. Wait, was that crashing? That shouldn't have crashed. I was hit Alt F4. I think I was hitting it like right at the edge. I want to just like test to make sure it falls down. We can set up our level to like have something specifically unique. Okay, so everything is fine here. Wait. What happened? I could swear that it was going like blanking out the screen right when I was starting to click oh, maybe when I hit Alt. So just sitting here, nothing happens. When I hit Alt, oh, we go to edit mode. Oh, that's what our problem is. Okay, so it doesn't crash. But in our, oh, because I think we set it for any key whatsoever. So if I go into our input handler, for input handler, do we have one for plane? We have one for level select. We don't have one for plane. So where do I have one to head to edit level? Right here. Oh, so here's the handle keyboard input. If we're in play, oh, look at this. If we're in play, I don't even check what the key code is. It's just, hey, we're going to edit. That's the thing. And then if we're in edit, if I hit key, we go back to play. Okay, so if I want to like recreate this, I hit play, hit start, hit anything, we go into edit mode, and then if I hit P, we crash. Could not find level with name blank. Right there. So could not find, so I would need to grab, okay, so that's the problem, is like we don't know what level we're going back to. I would need to go back into the world and oh, I think it's lost. I'll deal with that later. Let's go ahead and get rid of the rest of these warnings, because I think this ticket is done now. Although we need to test to make sure that actually is happening the way we expect it to be. So we're not using this level name yet. So I'm going to underscore that so it doesn't yell at me. Okay, you're... use of expect followed by a function call on by default. I like how it says try this, but it doesn't work. Wait, so the first argument format receives is a formatted string. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, are you upset because I'm doing a function call inside of here? So should I create the expect message? It's like do this format here. And then we'll pass in this error message. That is exactly what it is. Now, the problem that I see is this is like kind of not nice looking. So I wonder if instead of that, set this expect, I might as well just do a if let sum, you're gonna be a level here. So if there is a level, we're gonna return the level. If there is not a level, we're gonna bail. So this is gonna be basically just returning an error. Bail, by the way, is a macro function that's provided by a library, so it's not something native to Rust. And so this one is could not find a level with name. Then this would be the level name. And this also has no error. So I think this is a little bit nicer. Okay, so let's go check out our. Let's see, what was it working on? You. Might as well assign it to myself too. Okay, so user is taken to the placing. So when they click it, oh, you know what we can't do? We can't jump, but I can, at the very least, create a commit for this anyways. So this is the player can like navigate from level select to a level. Let's double check also that we can really do that. So I'm gonna close all these down. I like to have a clean slate whenever I like do a commit. I don't know. I feel like if I end up getting like too many of these windows open, it just makes it hard for me to find where I am. I'm the same with browsers too. Like I tend to close my browser windows a lot, which I know that most people just keep millions open at the same time. Okay, so in our level manager, what I want to do is for these levels, now we have these creating like a random assortment of blocks for this. I kind of want to change this. So we have this map, and the map is where we're like putting in grid coordinates and entities. I feel that I don't want to randomly insert anything into this. Like the player, maybe we can go in to like the certain, like this is where the player is going to be. So we're going to create a map. It's going to go down there, which means we don't need you. Come back to mod. 500 plus tabs in Firefox. Yeah. Sideberry add-on for Firefox is good. I've heard of that. I also told my manager about the great suspender for Chrome, because he also had like 1 million tabs open because he never reboots also, so he just collects them. So that took his computer from barely working to mostly working. Okay, so now I'm creating 2 levels here. This is not like the actual way that we want to create levels in the end. Like I don't want to just create them here and give them names. Like eventually I want to like have some kind of interface that I can create them, but it's, you know, future goals. Okay, so let's have Now, right now, they should be completely empty levels then, right? So if I run, now we've added a floor. But if I come into introduction, we should just fall until we hit a floor and there's nothing for us to see anymore. Okay, you know what we can do to test this then? We can just not add a floor to level 2. So level 2 is meow. Let's come in here, we'll go to level named meow, and if we don't hit the floor in a few seconds, then we know we're good. And it definitely looks like we're not hitting the floor. So I think we're appropriately falling forever. Each level does have a name, yes. I'm adding in here. Eventually, I want some kind of interface that we can then say, hey, what the name is going to be. But for MVP purposes of creating some levels that we can edit, this is going to be good enough. You don't need to be mutable. All right, so I'm going to actually rename this to call this no floor. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to amend that. And this means that I want to play, so users taken to the play same placing. Okay, fine. Now, something we didn't do before is I can't jump yet. We can't jump. We need to fix that. We need to jump. We need to have the user be able to finish the level. There's no finish or end for a level. And then when the level is finished, we need some way to go back to the level select screen. And then that will be sort of like the play stuff. And then we can focus on editing the level. Right now we just have like that page, but we're not doing anything with it. Okay. So I think though, let's see. It's 8:28. It's a slower week this week. I'm gonna stop probably around, well, might have to go a little bit longer. Let's see if we can get ourselves jumping really quickly. So this is gonna be a command for jump. So we need to update our command, and we want jump to be a command. When can we jump? We can jump when we hit, for me, it's going to be the A button, which is south on the controller, while we are in play mode. So this is going to be the input handler. I don't have like a play. So in handle controller input for play, we have D-pad left, D-pad right, and so we're gonna have a button south. So our command is gonna be command jump. Stuff.event sender. Send this command. Oh, it's this event. Okay, that's what it is. It's event command. Okay, so I'm doing a lot of event handling sort of in this entire system. So our systems don't need to be aware of each other. Instead, they're listening and registering for events. So in this specific case, I now need a system to add some kind of upward force to our bunny, which means we need a jump force. So let's go into resource names. We're gonna have a jump force, and they're gonna go into the main library, and we're gonna add a resource for this. So in the end, these resource names in the world is being stored in as strings. I'm just having an enum to make it easier to spell them correctly. All right, so how forceful do we want this to be? Let's try, our gravity force is 0.01. Let's try 1.0. Now I need a system to apply the jump force. Physics, hello, or Vizes, hello. This command input separation will be useful when you tackle multiplayer. Input will not be buttons, but network packets. Yes, indeed. And in fact, input will probably be both network packets and buttons, right? Because you'll have one person is gonna be on a controller or a keyboard playing, and the other person will be on a network, and I have to be sending like the both back and forth. So it will be interesting. But that will be an entire thing that we're going for. All right, so we have this resource. Time for us now to create a system for this. So this is gonna be a jump system, which means we go into this mod and mod this, mod jump system. I'm making these structs with like 0 size, which takes absolutely nothing. Like it's 0 size in the end. I'm just using it to like hold methods essentially. So impl, our jump system, we're gonna have a pub function run, takes a reference to self. We're gonna take in a world, which is just gonna be a reference to the world. And I think that's gonna be it. Oh, I'm sorry, jump system does need to take something. Jump system needs to take an event receiver. So it knows when we get this command, so we need to listen for commands. So event receiver is going to be a crossbeam receiver that takes in events. That means I'm actually going to create a new sort of constructor for this. We're going to take in the event manager, immutable reference to the event manager. And we're going to return a self. All right, so our event receiver is going to be from the event manager. We're going to subscribe. We're going to subscribe to a vec of these. Probably should have done this as just like an array. Or a reference to an array, or array slice. Okay, so events to subscribe to. Event command command jump. Now the event, we want to string this, and this will give us our events. So then we're going to return a self with the event receiver inside. Okay, great. Now we can run. This is gonna have to be a mutable self. It has to be a mutable self because receiving on a receiver just mutates that a little bit. We're gonna take in a world, which is a reference to the world. And I don't think we need anything else. We're gonna return a result, which is an error result, but nothing if it's successful. All right, so we just need to check to see this event to see if we're jumping. I think we can do that. I guess like did jump. We can just return this as a Boolean. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Do let we need to get like the command out first, and then we have to check to see if it's jump. So I think I can do that down here. So do a function, a private function here. So jump. This will be a mutable self. We're gonna return a Boolean in here. So, all right. First of all, let's get that event. So let event equals self dot. I guess we're gonna have to do an if. I wonder if we can just do this. We're gonna do a if let okay self dot. Oh, this is gonna be the event in here. Well, self dot event receiver dot try rec v. So this is listen for the event, but don't block. Just like is there anything for us to listen to? If there is, then go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, ignore it. Okay, so grab this out. We're getting this event. We can now match on the event. We want match on event. Command. Can I bring this in here? I think events command. So match on the command. I mean, so far it's okay. And then it's upset at us because we're not returning anything. So if it's an else here, we're going to return false because obviously there's nothing to do. All of these, the only one we care about is jump. So if we're jumping, we're going to return true. Everything else, we're going to return false. Oh, and try rec v returns. I think I have to, oh no, this is fine. Can I just return this as an okay here? That. Oh, I can. Okay, perfect. So then in here, we're gonna if we jumped, so if self dot did jump question mark that for the result. So if we jumped, then we want to continue on. I guess like if we did not jump, we want an early return. All right. Now, if we didn't, okay, so if we did jump, so at this point in time, then what we're going to do is we need to get that force, create the force, and then apply it to our character. So first of all, we're going to get the force. So let jump force equals, we have this helper that we created, get the F32, so get the world, and this is going to be the resource names, jump force, Azareth. So that gives us the F32 for that. We're gonna create the force. So I can actually do this together. A jump force needs to be a point. So we're gonna do a point. So point new. The X is gonna be 0, and then the Y is gonna be a negative one of these. Okay, so that's gonna give us a jump force. Now I need to get the full acceleration of the player so we can add this jump force to the acceleration. I wonder if we can do this in like here. So function get player acceleration. Oh, we can get the player entity because that has the acceleration inside of it. So let player equals in helpers. Do I have like a get? So we have like helpers, query player, pass in the world. This gives us an option. So we should do the same thing here. So just in case the player doesn't exist. So if let, okay, so player equals, then we should just up here. If let some player equals this, return the player, else we just want to return early. So a couple guards in here. Okay, so now we have our player, we have our jump force. I want to take the jump force and add it to the player. If we have an actual player, then we're fine. So, okay. You're probably gonna be mutable. Let's see, what do we have in here? Player dot acceleration, unwrap, borrow mute, plus equals to the jump force. Can I do that? Almost. I can dereference you, and then it works. Okay, cool. So now we want to new and run this in our systems manager. It's gonna be the jump system. Okay, so jump system is going to be a jump system new and pass in the event manager and store that away. And then an update, we're going to just run the jump system. Self dot jump system run and pass it in the world. Now, there's some possible problems here that I foresee. I wonder if any of you can guess what they're going to be. I'm pretty certain we're going to have it. Let's go into our... Did it go to no floor? Fail went to no floor. That's not helpful. We need to go to the floor one. Okay, so here we are, and I can jump. Okay, I can jump. But I think my problem is that I can jump in midair, which means I can fly. Also, I don't know why that's happening. So jumping does work, but I need to only be able to jump if I'm on the ground. So how do I know if I'm on the ground? Or if I'm touching a platform? If I've got no... Yeah, press... I like that. If my Y is 0. If my velocity... Collision normals, yeah, we could do that too. I could do, I can do states, like if we're falling, and like send messages that way, maybe. I do set, oh, you know what? I bet we could do it. I bet we could do it. Because in our collide with platform here, we set our velocity to 0 somewhere in here. Here it is. We set our Y velocity to 0 when we collide with a platform, or X velocity. But the one we care about is the Y velocity, which means in our jump system, we already have this. So we only want, okay, so another guard here. If we have this, okay, so if we have the player, we know the player has a velocity, so we can just do if player dot velocity. Let's unwrap that because it's an option, because not every game entity has a velocity. So this gives us that. Then we're gonna borrow U. And then we're gonna check the Y. So if the Y is 0, then we're gonna return early. We're not even gonna, like, we figured out if we jumped, but we're gonna ignore it if our velocity is 0. Now this is important that we have the jump system after our collision, but it should be fine regardless. So now if we come back to System Manager, our gravity gets applied here. Our collide platform applies here, so this resets it to 0, and then our jump happens here. So this should be fine because it's just set and nothing else has happened to it. I mean, what can possibly go wrong with that simple check? I mean, it's not like I might do anything else, like, you know, have other jumps that deal with it. Let's go to introduction. Oh, do you notice that my levels are now in different orders every time? And that's because hash maps have them in different orders. So maybe I should go back to a something. I can still jump forever. So that's cool. Zero 0.001 is not equal to 0. That is true. That is very true. I mean, we could have states that we like add to the player. Like, so I could have something where we're like have a state that's stored in the world. The vibrating bunny looks. Thank you, Togglebit. Also, thank you for the raid, Togglebit. Welcome back. Glad you're able to get some food. How was your stream? Let's see. Yeah, I need to figure out the vibrating part too. It might be due to the my FPS just all over the place. Which this is the draw FPS. My update FPS is steady at 60, but I may want to like turn VSync on. That might help out a lot. And I may have to do some other like little things for drawing, but I'm not worried about this too much because this is a learning project for the editor / just platform in general part. Stream was good. Awesome. That's great. Let's see. Okay, so we have the jump system here. Now this is the velocity. We're checking the Y velocity. If you're not, because like I don't even want it to jump when it's going up. So if your velocity is like less than, I don't have an on ground flag. That might be a good idea. If I do something like is less than 0.1, or let's grab equals this. So we grab our velocity. So if player velocity Y is less than 0.1, or player velocity Y is greater than negative 0.01, 0.1. Let's just see if like it's just that floating point math problem. I think the appropriate way to deal with it would be have a flag though. That's probably what would be best. Is we could have like an on-ground flag or like a standing. Oh, this is cool. I can't jump now. With the velocity check only, it might be possible to jump in midair if you can gain the mechanic that you're not moving, right? Yeah. And I'm checking the Y velocity, not the X. So we can be moving left and right, but I want that to work. I can't jump now. I'm actually curious, what is our velocity? Let's debug player velocity Y. Well, this is a problem. Okay, player velocity Y. I'm hitting A every single time. So it's anywhere between like 0.11. Now look at that. My bunny is bouncing, so I think this is happening to it. Like I think my bounciness is actually causing this to be a problem. You might be right. Now let's take a look again. We have our okay, so there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee that when I hit the jump button that it happens after this. So I think a flag is the best way to sort of like handle this, to put this in. So what I'm gonna do is put in a little message for ourselves. Use a flag on the player entity to know if we are standing on a platform. And that way I will see this debug next time I do this. And I'm gonna have to end it off here. I usually end actually closer to like 8:30. Normally I start work around 9, and I wanted to give a little bit of time to sort of get ready, but this week is a slower week, so I'm letting myself relax a lot more and have a lot more fun. So let's go ahead and put in a marker for